Hi, in this session we'll talk about visualization with technology tools, specifically tools to help us visualize in science and the social sciences or social studies. And to introduce this, realize that a large part of your brain is dedicated specifically to visual processing. So this is your visual cortex here, but that is dedicated to actually reconstructing images, but to figure out what they mean, to remember them or to retrieve them, the visual cortex is richly connected to the rest of the brain where memories are stored or where meaning is made. So it's assumed that your visual perception system uses roughly 50% of your brain. That could be your greatest talent. But our greatest irony in our school system is that, for example, this book by Copernicus, for centuries, our medium of choice was text. That's all we could do economically. So we could print text on paper and sell them as books. There could be a drawing, but that is very difficult and expensive to do. No photographs, no audio, no video, no way to make use of the tremendous processing power of our visual talents, our visualization talents. So for that reason, the things that we can't see or touch have been the hardest to learn. So this moth camouflaged against the bark is obviously hard to see. You can't study it easily if you don't even know it's there. But imagine something that's microscopic that you can't see. Even if you know it's there, how do you study it? How do you study something that is very far away like a galaxy or something fleeting like a lightning bolt? So we have technologies that can make the invisible visible. So we can use technology to show a waveform of our voice so that we can better analyze that sound. With fast photography, we can do stop motion video of very fast shots of the fastest thing that used to exist in the world, a speeding bullet. So it's frozen in midair along with the process that we see happening. So things that we used to think were instantaneous, we can now slow down through technology to analyze them. For things that we can't see, like the eye of an insect, we know it's a compound eye, but it's not till you can look in way past your visual acuity to see that the cells of an insect eye are often protected by protective hairs, maybe to keep dirt out or whatever it might be. And then the smallest things, so like molecules and atoms, we've had diagrams that represent our theories, but it's not until electron microscopy and other technology techniques that we can actually take a photograph that captures the structure of the molecule so that we know, because we can see it, that it aligns with our theory. Some of the technology tools we use for this are the electron microscope. Of course, that's expensive and big, and you may not have one. But any image that comes from a microscope can be analyzed with the ImageJ program, a free program from the National Institutes of Health. And this is a screen showing some of the capabilities and windows in ImageJ. So you can see that this looks like a hippocampus that has been identified and outlined, and any image can have numerical output generated, or the numerical output can be used to generate a visual image, like a weather map. Or here we see the system being configured for an automated blood count. So powerful software. For the social sciences, there's a cool tool called Gapminder So in this case, we see a graph of the U.S. Compared with China. And what this graph shows is it's an animated graph. So this is for 2008, but down here it starts at 1946 or something like that. So we see the change through time in a way that we can use technology to analyze historical events. So if you want to use these visualization tools for science or social studies, it helps if you have a mastery of the basic serious imaging tools. And the one everybody has heard about is Photoshop, but it's expensive. There's a free program called GIMP, which does essentially the same thing. This is an example of GIMP. And you see the multiple tool palettes just like you'd see in Photoshop. It's a complex program. There's a steep learning curve, but it's worth spending some serious time learning the basics. For vector-based images, there's the Adobe Illustrator program, also expensive, but there are free programs such as Inkscape that allow you to do much the same thing. To animate, to show change over time, a free system like iMovie for the Mac or Windows Movie Maker for Windows gives you the basic tools for doing that. You can speed things up, slow them down, you can narrate them. To create animations or 3D models, Blender is a tremendous tool of choice. It's free. But like the others, these are all challenging to use. The easiest would be Windows Movie Maker and iMovie. Next easiest, Photoshop. Illustrator would be the third easiest. Blender is the hardest. Again, each of these are worthwhile for you to learn the basics of. So knowing those basics, you can create rich animations such as this. This is a still image from an animation designed to teach Harvard entry-level biology students the inner workings of a cell in a way that you couldn't otherwise see it. So this is a great example, there are many more, of using technology to make the invisible visible, to take advantage of the tremendous visualization capabilities of the human brain.